please, and welcome back to Krown's magical boomer cave.
No, that's not what we talked about. What the fuck? Have some respect. Jesus Christ. Disrespectful Finnish girls. Awful. Anyways, well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a very special day today because it's not just any old Thursday, it's a new month, and it's actually April's Fools, which I absolutely fucking hate because it's like everyone's best day to say something that's not fucking funny and that everyone knows is fake, but you forget that it's fake because everyone forgets that it's April 1st. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the Krown chain application right off the bat here because there's actually plenty to talk about today, mostly with higher term timeframes, also with shorter term timeframes as well. Actually, Bitcoin's kind of moving on every scale here. And there's, I believe, quite a bit of fair opportunity coming up within this next week or two of price action, like big time. Anyways, with that said, I do want to put the spotlight on a couple things right now before we get started. First and foremost, had a nice little interview with Mr. Eric and Ken from the Liquidity Zone, which I did post to this channel last night, or I guess it was last night for myself, so probably like midday or late midday if you're over there in America. And you're welcome to check it out at any given moment in time. They will be talking about their journey to becoming a professional trader, and I just thought that was like mostly interesting, just from like a story perspective. But also on top of that, they also have their channel as well. So I would strongly suggest if you are interested in specifically traditional markets, definitely check out them definitely check out their channel as they're going to be doing like similar things to what we do here, just daily kind of videos. So if you are involved in traditional markets, they're the kind of the guys who I would say, hey, while I do look at it over here, they're going to be like focusing on it fully in that vein. They also have their lovely newsletter coming out as well here, which I'll let you check out on your own time on, of course, the Krown Trading app. And with that said, we see plenty of other things on the dashboard right now, actually. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a lot more interviews actually coming out with people of the community and just kind of telling their story, because I think it's so fucking important to understand like the very common threads that you see with people who kind of start from where we all start, like knowing not shit, and then evolving into like someone who actually does this as a living, does this as a profession, and gets comfortable with it over time, and sort of like the trials and tribulations that they do face and how they kind of overcome that. A lot of common threads there. So I'll be uploading another one, I think tomorrow, and then probably on Saturday and Sunday as well. So check that out. And let's get into the Krown Chain application, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. There is a link in the description. It is also 100% free as well. Hello, Ayo Elizabeth. There it is. Krown, why you wear the same shirt every day? I don't have any more shirts, man. Elsa thinks that's funny, but she doesn't know anything about fashion. Anyways, the orange really brings up my eyes, doesn't it? Anyways, Bitcoin dominance actually kind of sticking out like a... Hey, shut up. You're dumped. You're out. Bitcoin dominance right around 58.5%. So it is starting to look like a bit of an altcoin rally here. Continuation there. I would like to check in on some Bitcoin pairings again today, and check in on the Bitcoin dominance as well, as I want to see if we still actually even have a potential reversal in place. But I do think that would be breaking my conditions, perhaps, although I would like to see this on a weekly, obviously. But it is starting to really creep down to levels that we wouldn't really expect, I would believe. But I do need to check out the chart just to kind of confirm. Anyways, on top of that, fear and greed index kind of stuck where it was yesterday. Again, Bitcoin pretty much right off of its prior all-time highs, and we quite literally see the market just steady. Yes, it is optimistic, as you would expect during this sort of price action, obviously, but what I would not expect, or what I would expect if things were to reverse back down like significantly, is I'd expect to read back in like the 90-ish region, as that has been marking off like major tops, especially in the past. Actually, all major tops have been met with a 90+ read. Anyways, with that said, I see Brian K over there. Bear Jesus, where art thou? Love the intro, please. Can you look at CRV USDT? God damn it. Oh wait, nope. Yeah, he said it daily after your Bitcoin analysis. Got it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Brian K. Much love, my friend. And I should also say, for all the people who sent me emails about programming yesterday, massive appreciation for that. I think that I have the man for the job now. I apologize if I haven't gotten back to you, but I was a little bit overwhelmed with the emails, and hopefully I'll be able to work through them a bit. Hey, what's up? Hi, Desert Garden. How you doing, man? Good to see you in this nice early April morning as well. Anyways, moving on, we have the open interest actually still kind of around the same level as yesterday. So with that in mind, it's still supporting the overall bullish bias here on the higher term timeframes. Again, lower term timeframes, we actually might change around a little bit on that. I mean, it's not really a change because we really have we saw our move play out from yesterday all the way up to about $60,000. But how does that change things today in the short-term timeframes? We'll be going over that obviously once we get into the charts. Anyways, top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins, shitcoin, 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 and bless you, sir. Anyways, into the market data tab. Shut up! Into the market data tab we go. Something actually is kind of sticking out a bit more like a sore thumb as well with the not with the open interest, but with the interest rate right here. We are above globally on the 0.1% threshold, and actually this would even be, is it actually taking out the last high that we saw on this spot 122 versus spot 114? So technically not, no, but I would be looking at this as perhaps a change of behavior here. And while we have seen, you know, all of these spikes kind of correlate with local highs on Bitcoin, kind of having a bit of a stutter step right here instead of like that quick move up and then quick move down is perhaps indicative of an early change of behavior. So I actually would fall back on what I said yesterday, or at least if you were looking at that yesterday, that move already played out. That was your $2,000 dump dildo from about $60,000 to $58,000. Someone asked me to explain why that typically happens yesterday when you have a higher funny rate. Well, it's actually quite simple. Think about it from your own perspective as well. If you are holding a long and you are and you know you're doing a decent position, right? And you're coming up to funny rate, like the expiration where you have to pay it out. Well, what are you going to do if you can reduce your cost, or especially if your algo can tell you that you can reduce your cost by getting out of that position very, very quickly right before expiration, so you don't have to pay the funny rate on like a Bybit, Binance, BitMEX, Huobi. I imagine, you know, all of those are pretty much the same. Well, you can just let go of your position and then jump right back on in. And a lot of people will have, or not a lot of people, but a lot of, you know, bigger firms will have software that tells them, hey, you know, if you jump out at market right now and then jump back in a little bit later, you will still be net positive as compared to if you just paid the funny rate there. So a lot of the time it's advantageous to do something like that, and that's why you do see a lot of like very short-term price action postured around these funny rate expiration periods. Anyways, moving on from there, we do see that the fear and greed index is once again looking like a bit of a reversal right there. Not bad, but I mean, not really anything too much worth considering right now. Again, open interest right here, very, very important. As we do see it, essentially, are we making new all-time highs on this one? I think that we are. 11,230 versus 11. Nope, actually we are not. Very, very close. However, I would like to see open interest lead price action, but overall, this is still a long-term very good read. It still does hold a long-term bullish bias and will very much be playing into the long-term analysis that we're going to be looking at today, but doesn't necessarily mean that we're ready to go right here, right now. That I would actually push back on a little bit. I do think Bitcoin could very easily have a bit of a short-term pullback. In fact, looks like we're actually kind of getting it right now, seeing as Bitcoin is once again back below $59,000. Anyways, it should, while we don't necessarily have it on the market data tab right here, and I think this is something that we could perhaps definitely add in the future, and it'd be very much relevant. It should be denoted that that realized vol and implied vol right now, if you, especially if you're like an options trader, you should know this, is pretty much flat while Bitcoin's right around the prior all-time high. That's traditionally fucking bullish, and we did see that that sort of an interplay. I believe at the end of last week, or at least coming into this week, we did see that interplay, which was once again given a bit of a bullish bias when Bitcoin was kind of hanging around like $55,000 to $56,000. That is, you know, traditionally a very, 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 very good well, I wouldn't say long term, but very good signal for the current structure. On top of that, funny rate per exchange, we see FTX way the fuck out there on the moon at 0.252%. We see Bybit 0.169%, and globally speaking, everyone is above the threshold, it looks like, except for a few odd exchanges right there. So we are starting to see a change in behavior here, and if Bitcoin does break out to the upside, I would look for this to be sustained a little bit, that is, and that likely does play into, you know, medium-term pullbacks around our upside targets, but more long-term, I think that we are seeing a change of behavior here, and I would expect to see that, you know, once again start to actually break out and probably hit like one of those crazier levels, denoting the next sort of potential major high. Anyways, with that said, let's go to the actual price action charts themselves, because it is time, my friends. It is time indeed. There he is, Derek M. And Mimi's that butter my biscuit. Derek says, I trade Krown hair formation. That's right, baby. It's bullish as fuck today. Well, on the long-term time frames. Anyways, starting off with the monthly, because we do have a new monthly and quarterly, by the way, as well. What happened? Well, we did close a month actually right below $59,000. Technically speaking, 58,782, spot 58 on Bitstamp. Now, this is really important right here, because this will sort in a bullish bias for the next month to come. Now, with that bullish bias to very likely pull, in this case, new all-time highs, because we're already at the new all-time highs, I would also simultaneously be looking for a base anywhere around the top side shoulder band right here. Does that mean that we can't go a little bit lower than that? No, of course we can. I mean, you've seen that that sort of interplay in the past, but what do you see on all all of these rallies here. You see that rising wick, you see that rising wick signature all alongside the topside Toronto band. So I do run with that assumption until essentially proven otherwise. To be fair, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now working on 7 months of trending above the topside Toronto band. That is a little bit out of the ordinary for Bitcoin's history. I think we have one other iteration over here where we had about that many. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I count? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, okay, actually 9. That's quite significant. Anyways, that's not necessarily like a relevant analysis, but I do think that it is just interesting nonetheless, as at some point, obviously this condition will not be met. You know, we will get a reversal, probably look something like this or like this or like this. But for now, I do still remain more or less north side angled. On top of that, we'll do the monthly perusal of the accumulation distribution indicator. And guess what? The slope on this one remains positive. Yes, it did lose a little bit of its curvature from March to April now, but this once again does set in another bullish bias here for the long term, as anytime that we have seen a nice gradual upward slope, that is essentially continuation. And it's not really until we see this one angle back down with a negative slope confirmed on a monthly closure where I would say that this is actually very likely one of the major tops here, as that has perfectly called all of the major market reversals pretty much since the dawn of time for Bitcoin here. As you can see, we had this last one in January 2020 that was pretty much right here, right before the actual turn down from about 10,000 all the way down to 4,000 on coronavirus dump times. The time before that we saw a slope change. Well, actually in May 2020, that was coming out of this hole right here at about $8,000, leading us all the way to $60,000. Not always gonna be that good, but does definitely deserve a little bit of acknowledgement there. Time before that, we saw a nice slope change right here in January 2019. That looks weird. That's like right around the low of $3,100 in 2019. The time before that was way the fuck back on over here. Not necessarily on the $20,000 all-time high, but on the bull trap actually at about $12,000 in March 2018. The time before that was way the fuck back on over here. And we actually did see a little bit of a slope change on this general bullish market right here. But that slope change did call a pretty nasty pullback, to be fair. I mean, we're talking about this guy right here. So it was still very much relevant, and did give you a little bit heads up right there. That's a 40.5% pullback, you know, from top to bottom, wick to wick, looking pretty damn good. Anyways, the time before that was actually right here on the momentous low in August 2015. Time before that was way the fuck back on over here on the bull trap at 680. And fair enough, we don't really have too much history for the times before that. That's very much relevant, but again, does set in the bullish bias for the month to come. And would I be looking for new all-time highs? Very likely, yes. We do see monthly Stokes still charging their way up. Now, to be fair, they've pretty much never been above this current area that we're in. Is there enough iterations here for me to really care? No, not. But again, when things are in the critical zone, actually look at that as more or less a bullish thing in and of itself. It's not till it comes back down below the critical zone on a confirmed open and closure before I really start to look at that as like an actionable counter trend signal. And in this case, that is, you know, just in its infancy right now, hasn't even crossed to the downside just yet. On top of that, we do see that the ADX is actually still strengthening on the DMI plus, while the DMI plus is being dominant, so generally good long term. And MACD histogram once again is increasing its momentum. So I know that this does look fucking insane right there, but long term, I would be looking for Bitcoin to continue the party here actually throughout the month of April, probably even May as well, and maybe even June. Anyways, that all goes without saying that Bitcoin could very easily come back down. In fact, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to once again play out that same sort of narrative that we had coming into this month with the topside Toronto band, now currently situated at about $52,000. So I would be looking at $52,000 as a major base for price action if Bitcoin does test back down there. That would be my next potentially even major long-term trade in this case. Now, just like last month, we can test this one of two ways. We can test this either by quite literally coming back down right here, right now. Well, not literally right here, right now, but we could come down to this level from our current open down around about $52,000, or just like last month, Bitcoin gets so fucking green that it pulls it up to our current low of about $58,500. What do I think is more likely? I think Bitcoin actually does test a little bit further to the downside here on the short-term timeframes, and then probably does try a rally from there, as we did see last month. I mean, it was situated at the beginning of the month from about $40,000, then gets pulled up all the way pretty much exactly to the low. another $4,000. It is a reactive indicator after all, so you do have to keep tabs on it. Anyways, with that said, let's now put it on the quarterly, of which we did close last night as well. You only get 4 of these a year, so it's actually quite important. Now, with momentum oscillators on a quarterly, I really don't feel like we have that much history to kind of give them a shit ton of merit, but for the history that we do have, it is more or less good here. We do see, Jesus Christ, man, the scammers are actually in the comments. Holy fuck, man, this is getting more and more insane. That is insane. It's like, does anyone actually fall for that? Is a real question. By the way, someone apparently has been impersonating myself on Telegram. Yeah, Telegram. I don't even have a fucking Telegram, just so you know. So it's definitely not me messaging you. And I can assure you that if they're asking for the keys to your account, or if they're asking for anything, I can't even keep up with my own fucking inboxes. I don't use WhatsApp all that much. And fair enough. It's not me. Hopefully, I don't need to explain that to too many people out there, but I understand that there's also some people who are new to the internet and maybe they just need a little bit of hand holding in that case. Well, I can assure you, no, I do not want to actually trade your account. No offense. It's just, I don't want to do that. Anyways, looking at the quarterly right here, we do see quarterly Stokes officially into the bullish control zone for the first time since when? January 2017, actually. By the way, January 2017, that was way the fuck back on over here at about $1,000 closing price for Bitcoin on that quarter, and an ultimate high on that drive obviously was about $20,000, so quite literally a 20x closing price, technically speaking, right around $14,000. So still quite the significant move. And on top of that, we do see that quarterly histogram still increasing. Again, really not much information here to be going off of. And of course, quarterly accumulation distribution indicator. I don't know how well this actually works on this time frame, although for the information that we do have, it's actually well, it did call the last top, and did it call the last bottom? Nah, not perfectly, definitely not perfectly, but it did get around the low July. If you're looking at this, without the numbers on the right hand side, yeah, if it tells you to kind of switch around to being bullish right around here, I'd say that that's definitely very much relevant. So for what it's worth, it does have a positive slope right now, and plenty of room to go, but at the end of the day, man, I don't even care about the color on that one. I am blind to the color of my dildos. I only care about slopes, sir. Anyways, I only care about slopes, sir. That's going to be cut up into terrible ways. Anyways, okay, so we've essentially covered the higher term timeframes here. I think it would also be a good idea to go back down to the 5-day. Remember, we closed a 5-day and a 3-day last night all at the same time. 5-day is still continuation to myself. Could we very easily have a backfill back down to like $55,000? Yep, no problem. But as we looked at on the higher term timeframes, the bias is here to the upside. Topside Krown band now coming in around $66,000, which is more or less good. And we do see that momentum oscillators are doing kind of what I would expect on this more momentous drive, which is, is obviously staying within the critical zone, but this is, kind of what I'm looking for on the monthlies as well. This is a strong read right here. It's not until you come back down below the critical zone and actually like maintain a little bit below there on an open and closure before that actually becomes actionable as like, potentially even a reversal signal, which I don't even look at it as a reversal signal in and of itself to begin with. It's fucking Stokes. It's only short term. Well, relative to that time frame, it's kind of like more short term momentum. Anyways, okay, so that's a 5-day. Let's see, do we have anything on the 3-day? 3-day looks like it's actually gonna have another cross back onto the upside, potentially as early as, well, not today because we just got a new one, but on the 4th of April. So a little bit time to go on this one. And it should also be denoted that if we go over here to our CME charts, what do we have? Well, do we have continuation of this potential ascending triangle here? I would say that this is still fulfilling the conditions. However, we have a pretty easy trade here on CME looking at the daily, and spot price action pretty much has the same thing as well. In fact, this is probably going to be one of the easier trades in my opinion, probably for this next month. Now, you do see yesterday on that nice rejection right around about $6,000. Bitcoin did put in one of those $2,000 quick dumps, bought back up almost immediately. We spoke about this on yesterday's follow-up video on the late day wrap-up. Yeah, that's what we call as basically, more or less bullish whenever you see something like that quickly getting bought up. We haven't really seen that sort of a signature since like 2019, I think. And we actually saw it like quite a fair bit in 2019. And in this case, when you go test resistance, immediately sell off and then pop back up to the median of the range. I mean, it's usually going to be reaccumulated. It's typically a quick washout sign, get rid of some people, and then party on once again. Anyways, with that said, there's a pretty damn easy trade right here. And this is, of course, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but just using both sides of the high side and the low side of this daily dodo wicks would be continuation points for, greater trades. In this case, the upside is a lot more interesting here. Of course, we do see 59,816 spot 17 on Stamp would be that continuation point. If Bitcoin even just ticks above there on any of the exchanges, and make sure that you check the exchange because it will be different on different ones. Like for example, BitMEX is 59,950. Any sort of a tick above there, I would be looking for general continuation to the next upside targets, which I think are best based off of CME structure right here, which we did see a bit of an ascending triangle. Now, I would still say that this is a little bit questionable here, especially with the lack of follow through on this breakout and also lack of participation volume right here as well. But generally speaking, I favor this until one of two things happens. We either close a daily dodo or a 12-hour dodo below this trend line right here, about 58,700-ish region or 58,800-ish region, or if we just come back down below yesterday's low, then by the same sort of logic, I would be looking for a more medium-term downside trade, at the very least down to the 20 simple. So that's about a $2,000 move right there, or actually no, more like a $1,500 move right there, which would be about 56,000 bucks on CME, so about 55.5 on spot price action, which is right in line, by the way, with that backfill that we looked at. I believe it was on the 2-day or 3-day, and that would also be in line with the 2-spot 414. So I would be looking for bounce around there. And could that be the next like major low within this structure? Yes. Again, I have no reason at all whatsoever in any way, shape, or form to be long-term or even medium-term bearish. Well, medium-term is a little bit more questionable, but certainly long-term and macro-term, as long as Bitcoin is operating on higher low structure, and that is 52,500 right now. So Bitcoin even did break the 20 symbol to the downside. I'd just be looking for another test on this proverbial trend line and still kind of play out. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't necessarily be an ascending triangle anymore, because if this area does fail right here, sorry, yes, I do take that back. If this area fails right here, no, something else is going on, and I would be more or less medium term, just range once again until this area is broken, at which point I actually would turn to bearish. But do I think that's what's happening right here? No, not really. Generally speaking, I am going to be maintaining my Bula-ishness, assuming that, assuming that we just don't break below the last prior daily high or low. Pretty damn simple stuff, but at the end of the day, it does require a little bit of patience, and patience is the name of the game, and patience seems to be also some of the most heavy pain points of the game as well. Anyways, looking at this right here, if you are playing this as an ascending triangle, I would still say that, you know, it's a little bit questionable here, but it works at least for now. And I would be having a measure move all the way up to about the 3-spot 618 Fibonacci extension, which has been working phenomenally well on judging all of these major basing and upside targets from this last base, all the way from about 40,000 to 30,000 bucks. Anyways, in this case right here, I do like the confluence. It would also imply that there is a major area of interest along the way at about the 3-spot extension. Sometimes if you are going to see a trap, it will happen around this level. And then you'll probably play a move down somewhere around the around the prior breakout points. So that'd be like around 59 to 60,000 bucks. In this case, that is 63 and some odd change. Anyways, okay, cool. Crypto OG says, "Hey Krown, how do you store your Bitcoin? Do you use the Trezor app for phone?" Nice try, sir. Here's my keys. No, man. Just like most people, I use a ledger actually. Anyways, that sounds like a fucking marketing campaign for them. No, man, I wouldn't use my fucking phone, because I feel like my phone is potentially a big point of potential failure. Anyways, oh god damn it, my bad. All right, there we go. Yes, okay, we're back. All right, let's go down to our shorter term timeframes over here, and let's kind of follow up from yesterday's short term time frame analysis. So Bitcoin still does have a nice little uptrend going on here on the 4-hour. Oh, Mr. Nimbo, I see him. There he is. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Reading some of the comments here, too fucking good right now. You know, I still look at this as a consolidation at a high level. So should I be favoring the upside right now? Technically speaking, yeah, I should. If Bitcoin is going to play a short-term pullback, though, this would technically be, you know, the moment to do it, to be fair. But for right now, you know, uptrend still remains. I don't really have anything to add on from yesterday's late day wrap-up. It's still pretty much the same thing here. If you are looking at structure, 58,000 bucks is that magical number for that last higher low on the 4-hour. Again, you could use yesterday's low as well at about just below 57,000 bucks as a continuation point, but one of those two things would switch me on to short-term bearish, looking for a move down somewhere around about 55,000 bucks, maybe slightly above 55,000 bucks, and then probably play at another short-term bounce there, and then come back and reanalyze or reanalyze, whatever the fuck the word is. Doesn't matter. My point is that as long as this uptrend does hold, meaning this $58,000 low does remain essentially a higher low above this $57,000 low. So essentially, as long as Bitcoin does not crack down and close a 2-hour or 4-hour dodo below below 58,000 bucks, I look for this to generally float up to the measure move off of the inverted head and shoulders target, which we identified, feels like about half a week ago now. Yeah. 28th of March is when it was completed, it looks like. So there's your left shoulder, there's your head, there's your double right shoulder right there. Measure move would be pointed up all the way towards about 62,000 bucks. So looking good on that one. And I essentially look for that. I essentially have a continuation bias, meaning that I would not be looking for a short-term reversal below this level until this target is actually met. And that would obviously start to resolve our CME formation over here, really up to the next major level as well. So with all of that said, with all of that said, I guess I am still somewhat bullish on the short-term timeframes, even though, there's definitely a little bit of cause for concern. If Bitcoin does take out these levels to the downside, I would essentially be looking for moves, a few thousand bucks lower. Actually, it'd be about 58,000 bucks, 55,000 bucks where I'd be looking towards. But as long as that condition is not met, generally just looking further up. We do see momentum is still kind of following through. Although, oh no, caretaker say it ain't so. We have a little bit of potential bearish divergence actually going to be put in right here. Now, you typically would not look at this as bearish divergence, and if you learned divergence from a book, you would say that, Krown, what the fuck? That's not divergence. But look, I would say the same thing. But caretaker showed me, caretaker really taught me something with this indicator. It's actually pretty fucking funny. This indicator, when caretaker first made it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, man. It's like training wheels for learning divergences and in local lows and local highs. And then I started looking at it more and more. It's like it actually helped me confirm and also deny a lot of previously held beliefs. And also I started to notice that this shit works too. So there's like a momentum relationship going on here, and for all intents and purposes, it seems to work out quite well. Anyways, that again is not confirmed as of the current moment in time. In fact, we even have hidden bullish evidence coming off this last lows we identified from yesterday's late day wrap up once again, and that did get the move pretty much all the way up to the prior all time high, or sorry, not the prior all time high, but the high of this run, about 6,000 bucks. I still actually remain with that right now. And again, this is very much far from confirmed. We still have another 2 hours and 38 minutes and 5 seconds. So if you do have this indicator, I wouldn't look at this as actionable in any way, shape, or form. And even if it does hit, I really don't like taking a one drive of bearish divergence at the at a lower portion of the edge of the bullish control zone like this. Those typically do not work in strong generational uptrends. If you have maybe like 3 drives, yeah, you can get a little bit of a move, but I'd rather err on the side of the trend here. So I still do remain more or less bullish, I suppose, on pretty much all time frames. 12-hour right here again could very easily have a backfill down to like low 58,000 bucks. Doesn't do anything for me on the short-term time frames though. 58,000 bucks is still the major area on a 2-hour or 4-hour closure, or a wick lower than yesterday's low. Turn off that goddamn sink, bitch. Anyways, she can't hear me. All right, good. Anyways, okay, seriously, turn it off for the love of God. Hey, I'm not paying you 5 nanos for nothing to be a fucking goofball over there. Cut it out. This is why I am gay for TA. Anyways, I see you over there fishing with Donnie, man. We'll get to that after Bitcoin, as always, man. If that's cool with you, if that's cool with you. Anyways, oh fucking goddamn it! Now it's a piece of shit dish time, isn't it? Sir, can you like wait for this, for the love of fucking God? Anyways, daily TSI still, no, seriously, stop, fucking stop. Seriously, fucking stop. All right, daily TSI continuing with the cross the upside here. So I do like that. I wonder if the MACD did it as well. Let's see, is the MACD following through? Yeah, actually, it just had a fresh cross yesterday as well. So we are seeing momentum turn up on both angles of that. The TSI obviously going to be leading it, and the TSI is going to be accompanied by some hidden bullish evidence on the other side, which we already identified a couple days ago. Just following through on that. 2-day same shit, 3-day same shit as well. And I'm curious if the 5-day, which I imagine it very likely did confirm, and yes, it did. Hey, 1, 2, 3 drives, not bad. Actually, 1, 2, 3 drives off the low. So again, short term, if Bitcoin does come down below 58,000 bucks, kind of wrapping up my thoughts, I'd be looking for a pretty easy move down to about low 55, but very likely a bounce there. And I remain bullish the whole way through, man. The 5 days just stair stepping its way onwards and upwards. There's absolutely no reason for me to even be bearish on a 5 days as long as we're above about 55,000 bucks. So with all of that said, I do think that April is going to very likely be new all-time highs. Tentatively speaking, 63,000 bucks is kind of like the next medium-term target to the upside versus 69,000 bucks, more of a long-term target. And I'm curious if there's anything else that I'm missing right here. Let's actually go through the lower term timeframes just to kind of make sure. Okay, 4-hour just looks like more uptrend. 3-hour, same shit. Bi-hourly is same shit. Hourly is also same shit. So you know, judging a breakout or judging continuation, or if you want to call it a breakout to the upside, again, I think the easiest way is actually just taking out yesterday's high, and that's going to be 59,950 on BitMexico, or technically speaking, a 4-hour closure above 59,600. If one of those two things happens, yes, I'm just generally looking for that continuation drive up to again $63,000, and then probably beyond over time. Hey, screen, don't die right there. And again, you know, if instead of waiting for a closure on this one, probably wick happens a little bit faster, I'd imagine. Anyways, is there anything else that I'm missing right now? Let's actually go check out Bitcoin dominance. I'm curious what that one's looking like with Bitcoin kind of grinding upon its prior all-time high. Let's see. Okay, actually dumping off a little bit there. So it looks like there is there's still a lot of wicks being accumulated here on the weekly. I'm still unwilling to call this just yet. I still think that this actually could put in a major low right here. It's really not till we actually start to break the structure, which it actually could do this week very easily. It very well could do it this week, but until that happens, I will not change around my opinion on that, as that is just straight up analysis in and of itself. Okay, so with that said, I actually do want to go back on over here before we get to the comments. A couple more things, especially with our Stoke trend lines. I just want to see that they're following me through. Yep, we do see that this trend line going all the way back to our March 2020 coronavirus dump times, still working, and more importantly, we do see that the daily Stokes are back in the bullish control zone for the first time really since early March, and that was leading out this breakout. Hey, motherfucker, get back on over here. That was leading out this breakout from about $50,000 all the way to $62,000 right here. Obviously, the DMI plus signal, or sorry, the DMI ADX signal is still following through as well. Although I would say that this is kind of like a last chance for this current signal to kind of pop back up, as the DMI plus is actually testing around the threshold. Not necessarily that it works like that, but we have seen a slew of these signals going up from all these rallies over the past 6 months now on these continuation drives. I'm talking about this one right here, pop above the 20 simple, boom, above the threshold, and continue from about $50,000 to $62,000. Then we see this one over here, pops above the 20 simple, boom, DMI plus gets dominant, ADX strengthens, that takes you all the way from about 35 to, I mean, ultimately 56, with a stop along the way at about 48. Before that, we see this baby over here at about $20,000, going all the way up to $40,000. Before that, we see this one over here at about $11,000, going all the way to $20,000 as well. Anyways, so yeah, you know, going all the way through it, I still think Bitcoin is more or less bullish on the whole here. 4-hour Stokes looking like they actually might even have a cross the upside as well with any sort of closure here or higher. So if momentum does start to turn back up again on the short-term time frames, then yeah, I'd actually be favoring a breakout from this region. In fact, I just kind of generally favor that due to trend being to the upside on basically every fucking time frame that matters to me. So there we go. You know, making things nice and simple today for good old Bitcoin. Again, do I think that there could be a pullback? Yes, but the conditions for it are very, 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 very specifically laid out right here. And until that happens, you know, I just remain I just remain more or less north side angled, looking for more and more and more of the green dildo number only go up sort of party. Anyways, okay, so I want to get back to some of those super chats that we had earlier. Holy shit, we're already 43 minutes into this bitch, and I have not I mean, I just finished Bitcoin. Motherfucker, man. Oh, shit. It looks like I actually missed the earliest super chat. I apologize about that, because that person was so nice too. He said you can look at this after the Bitcoin segment. Fuck, missed that one, but we can get to Donnie in the meantime, and I'm sure one of the mods or perhaps someone will remind me exactly which that one was. April Fool's pullback. Yeah, there you go. What's up, Alex? Omar's Trevron James. Wait, really? Oh yeah, there it is. Brian K. Got it. Oh fuck yeah, man. Brian, you are the man. Thank you, brother. And apologies for that. CRV USD, and I believe you wanted to look at it on a daily. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see what we got here. Yep, nice little reaccumulation formation right here. I mean, not the best. It's not going to be the strongest altcoin of all time, but I would actually be looking for a little bit of short-term downside, maybe back down to like 290-ish region. Very likely a bounce there. Long-term bullish, however, which is what it sounds like you're more concerned with. So yeah, anywhere down around there, I actually would be looking for a bouncy bounce and continuation to the upside. I'm not bearish on anything that really looks like this. Short-term, however, probably a little bit of downside, but ultimately, if you're looking at daily and above, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing actually give another try higher over time. Areas of relevancy are obviously going to be this area right here, 540 to the upside. It's going to be a big one, also kind of like that last prior swing high. And above there, you got 6.5 is where I'd be looking towards over time. All right, cool. Fishing with Donnie says GRT USD 4-hour inverted head and shoulders over the last half month still in play. Well, if you're looking at a 4-hour, man, then probably not. If you're looking at a month of price action, sir. Donnie, god damn it, Donnie, fucking Donnie. First off, there ain't anything resembling an inverted head and shoulders here to begin with. Okay, well, that's a daily, but let's see what you're looking at right here. Again, still no. I'd have to respectfully disagree with this, sir. Maybe you're talking about this right here. This would still not be even remotely symmetrical. Volume signature also does not work out as well. But ultimately speaking, you know, everything in this market kind of gets a free ride to the upside right now. And this one, very likely any different. I'd be using yesterday's low actually as a bit of a bias buster for getting medium-term bearish on this one. However, as long as we're above yesterday's low, I do look for this one to join the rest of the market. Probably does pop back up north of $2, to be honest with you. However, if it does take out yesterday's low, which is a nice little risk management point perhaps, although it's not financial advisor, I'd be looking for another move back down to about 140-ish region. So a big drop if that were to be met. But for right now, man, you know, it looks to me like you almost have a 4-hour golden cross. Although, do I trust it that much? Not really, no. Especially on an asset that is this young. Barely call it a fucking asset. But overall, I'm likely do favor the upside here, just in line with the rest of the market here. All right, let me just make sure that I have gotten everything else before we get on. See a lot of people asking for a link. Link, please. All right, we can look at link, please. Motherfucker, please. Link, let's see, popping back up. Hey, nice one. Link actually finally joining the rest of the market here. This is kind of why yesterday, or I think we looked at it yesterday, maybe the day before, where I was like, hey, you know, Link ain't looking too bad here, or sorry, Link ain't looking too good here. But look, if the rest of the market is looking good, I highly doubt that Link is going to be the one that actually is going reverse, contrary to the overall direction. In this case, well, that seemed to be right. And would I be looking for a little bit of a pullback on short-term timeframes? I think we've kind of already got that, actually. I'd be looking generally upside here on the daily, especially. Areas of interest to the upside going to be $32, obviously. Then your prior high of about 34, spot 80. Long term, though, this very obviously looks like reaccumulation to me. More importantly, Jesus Christ, this chart needs a redo. There's just too much history there for now, so I need to get rid of all my trend lines as they're not so relevant right now. It just kind of creates an eyesore, but I do like the higher low structure. Would I be looking at this as reaccumulation? Yep, I would. Is this, you know, some variation of a ascending triangle? Yeah. Could it take a lot longer to actually resolve itself? Yeah, I imagine it probably will, but ultimately, you know, this is still one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land over the past 3 to 4 years. Yeah, about 4 years now. So I think that it deserves respect just upon that merit, and I would be generally bullish on this one. Still, you know, probably looking for the next move into, you know, if you break above these highs right here, anywhere above 34 and a half, and I'd be looking for a continuation probably up to like 40 plus. Looks pretty fucking good, man. Looks pretty fucking good still. Price targets, damn it. Okay, and then we stop. Jesus Christ, man. Goddamn. And... Oh, it always feels dirty, sir. When signals, says Jack Frost. When signals, indeed. All right, let's see. Admiral Blue says, can you check out that little bitch? What the fuck? Phil USD on the 4-hour. It is overtaking Visa with the market cap. Really? Oh, wow. That's... Wait, really? That seems like a lofty goal for what is a lowly shitcoin. Or is it a shitcoin? No, it ain't. Shitcoins don't look like that. Shitcoins don't look like that, man. You said on the 4-hour specifically, but I think that using a daily here is going to be more appropriate. Upside, man, this one's in price discovery. This one very likely retest whatever the fuck this IPO or ICO dump was, 270-ish region. Probably even on this drive. 4 hours continuation as well. Bullish on all time frames. Continuation volume right here coming out of that last base. I don't even have targets to give because I imagine all of them are probably already taken from this area right here. Yep, that would be so. Let's see, we can do this one as well and get this sort of base. And let's see, yeah, we've already taken out those ones as well. Those ones in clear price discovery right now, so there's not really anything that I can say that is going to be that much helpful. What I can say to you is that I would be looking for some sort of divergence on, you know, maybe even a 4-hour on this one, but we haven't even confirmed a local high right now. This is like the antithesis of a local high. This is continuation right here. So up it goes. I'd still keep an an eye on about 270 it was. And you can even see over here, I mean, it's not even going to have the chance to do that to begin with. So yeah, man, bullish, sir. It is Bula-ish. Weekly is clear continuation as well. Probably definitely not enough history to look at this on a monthly, but overall, man, yeah, this one continues onwards and upwards, and I don't really see any real reason to be looking for a major high just yet, or perhaps even, well, at least at least within these next few days, as long as we don't even have a fucking local high. I mean, it's not even a topic of consideration, and more importantly, you need like 2 to 3 local highs before you really start to look at momentum plays there. So fair enough. Jeremy Shulman says KSM USD daily weekly Binance. I got you, brother. I got you. KSM USD daily weekly Binance. Okay. All right. Yeah, man, this one seems to be a popular one too. All right, so this one actually does have a confirmed lower local high right there. Do we have any divergences? No, we do not. But I probably would be looking for a short-term move to the downside. Momentum is turning a little bit down right here, so a little bit of a reprieve is probably in order. Probably does play out somewhere along this trend line as well, if I had to guess, and that's probably going to be your next major low. I would be looking for a short to medium-term move down to about 420-ish region, very likely a bounce there, and then I come back and re-analysize it after that. 4-hour. Maybe even a short-term bounce right around where we're at right now, but ultimately, yeah, daily very likely does come down a little bit further south. Long-term, very good chart, similar to the one that we just looked at. In fact, even way more powerful than the one that we just looked at. However, in that would set in the buys for long-term still kind of bullishly angled here, but yeah, any sort of move down to like, what is it, 440 to 450-ish region, I think going to be quite obvious for, at the very least, a nice bounce there. Daily says about 425 region, so 425 is kind of what we'd be looking for, and then big old, and then very likely a bounce there, and then I want to see it after that. My regular tools that I'd be looking for a bit of a reversal here are actually not really suggesting any major causes for concern. I'd be looking for another potential higher low on that daily TSI trend line, actually. 12-hour Jewel, it kind of looked like the signal. No, not really. I would say that that's certainly not what I'm looking for, at least myself. 12-hour RSI, we would have bearish divergence there, but I'd say that that's mostly played out. So fair enough. All right, cool. Let's see. Ajay Jani says OGN, any pair? Okay. I actually would really like to check out the Bitcoin pairing on this one, just to get an idea of what the Bitcoin pairings are looking like. Hopefully enough history. Okay. Yeah, we got plenty of history here. It looks like this is a shitcoin pump and dump, sir. This is definitely a shitcoin pump and dumper. Still kind of operating on macro lower highs, but you do have a nice golden cross right here. Probably looking for the next move to the downside to very likely get a nice big old bounce. Now the problem is okay, you did say long term. Okay, so long term typically to me would mean in cryptocurrency land like a daily, weekly. So I'm going to look at it from that sort of perspective. Short term is very likely down, but that's not what you asked for. You asked for daily, weekly. So I would be looking for a bit of a short term downside move. Very likely does try another move to the upside, however, more long term, which is what you have identified that you're concerned with. Long term, however, I do think that it goes without saying this is a pump and dump. This chart is really no different than like a Ripple chart, for example, versus Bitcoin. Versus US dollar, I imagine this thing is flying. It's probably doing very, very well versus the US dollar, but versus Bitcoin, certainly not a perennial winner here. So the sort of key in something like this is kind of accurately judge when that next lower high or just local high is likely to be playing into the next major dump off. So with this one, I do think that it still has a little more on this pump phase. Wouldn't be surprised to see it long term go for another move towards like 3,900 satoshis. However, I'd be very, 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 very skeptical of this thing long term. Anywhere around, anywhere around about 4,400 satoshis, I'd probably be looking for that next potential major macro high in this case. Especially if Bitcoin gets going here, I do believe that that most altcoins versus Bitcoin Satoshi pairings, traditionally speaking, historically speaking, pretty much always do lose versus their Bitcoin pairing. Again, versus US dollar, very likely to follow. Probably looks excellent versus US dollar if I had to guess. So fair enough. All right, cool. Baby Bloom, actually. Hey, nice one. Thanks for that, man. Nice little keep it up. I'm actually going to go to the gym a little bit later, but I've heard that my gym might be closing tomorrow, which is not fucking good. Not fucking good, sir. La Major 23 says, how's Zill USDT looking? Oh man, fucking Zilliqa. I have a personal bone to pick with, just because they used to fucking have those Russian spam bots invade my videos back in like 2018, 2019, which is just like complete bullshit. But versus USD, probably gonna be looking good. I would think most things being within this market are just gonna get a nice uppity up just by having crypto in their name, basically. And in this case, no different. I would be looking for this one to actually probably make new all-time highs, to be honest with you, versus USD. Daily is a clear uptrend. Daily even has hidden bullish evidence on this side over here. TSI turning up as well, or it looks like it wants to turn up with any sort of a closure above 0.178. And if that were to happen, I'd be looking for a retest of the prior all-time high, 20 cents, and very likely new all-time highs to, let's see what sort of areas of interest we can come up with over here. Short-term would be like 21.8. Short term, but the big areas would be about 27.5 cent actually is where I'd be looking towards. Looks pretty fucking good here, to be honest, versus US dollar. Most things in this market are going to be very good versus US dollar. Lefty Sun, hey, thanks for that, man. Okay, I see that you got a message right there. If you could though, in the future, just make sure that the message is like within the chat, because it's just easier to follow. But nice, we actually got it right below there. So crisis averted here. ESS BTC, okay. Hey, much love to you too, man. ESS Bitcoin, okay, only trades on Finex. This is not something that you see very often, because Finex is more of a they're more regulated, and I would put them in like the more legitimate of exchanges in the list of exchanges. Yes, I do know that there's going to be a lot of pushback on a statement like that, but compared to like a fucking BitMEX, for example, yes, I would say so. And what do we see right here? We see a long-term absolute shit piece of chart. This is a pump and dump right here, man. Clear pump and dump, but this one's getting ready for a bit of a pump. I would be looking for a big bounce. Actually, maybe it's already seen it right around about 20 Satoshi region. Yeah, I'd actually be looking for a bounce off this level right now. Well, a little bit of bearish divergence right there. Yeah, so probably short-term bounce of this level, maybe back up to like 28, 29 Satoshis, but I do think that it will come back down. After that, probably back down around that 20 Satoshi base, and probably try another bounce right there. So you did not give a time frame for that, or did you? You said long term. Long term, it's a pump and dump. Long term, this thing's going fucking nowhere, man. This thing is just absolute garbage. Dead heartbeat of death. This one is actually by far. Is it the worst chart of the day? Do we have the worst chart of the day award? This is the worst chart of the day award thus far. That is, you get 1, 2, 3 shitcoin police out of 4. Why out of 4? I don't fucking know, man. It's not. It's. Well, at least it's in a bit of a weekly potential reversal right here. Pretty shitty though, in comparison to other things. Okay, cool. Hey, no problem, AJ. No problem, man. Baby Bloom says, always love your stuff, brother. Thanks, man. You keep me up to date on my troll trader terms. Nice. TA and personal opinion fundamentally on XMR. Ooh, XMR is a really cool one, man. So Monero, that one used to get a lot of love in 2017, 2018, 2019 as being one of the more legitimate cryptocurrencies, because it has like actual tangible value in the sense that you don't really see maybe with a lot of the other ones, in the sense that like it's got like a serious security protocol there going on. Now, I am not a fundamental person. There's an infinite amount of better people to ask me a question than this. But what I do understand is that Bitcoin will be getting privacy features somewhat soonish as well. And it'll be in the same vein as what Monero has. And if that happens, or when that happens, more importantly, assuming that I'm right on that, then I don't know if Monero is going to have the same use case or the same love that it should, or that it once did. Now, as far as the charts goes, I mean, yes, this is a clear accumulation phase between about December 2018 and all the way over here to about August 2020 before this next little markup phase. It's clearly getting reaccumulated right now. Do I think that there's further upside? Yes, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. I mean, everything in this market's going to go up, or not everything in this market's going to go up, but most things in this market versus US dollar very likely to go up. I'd put it that way. Weekly TSI getting a fresh cross the upside. If we go down to a daily, I'm sure this one looks just fine as well. And a clear reaccumulation formation right here as well. Yep, exactly. We have an ascending triangle once again, and those rising bottoms, once again, the key. So I would actually be looking at this one. It's probably even being resolved as of a couple days ago. In fact, I'd be looking for a retest of the high on this run at about 285. Long term, I have no real reason to believe that it won't hit back up above 425 and probably beyond alongside the rest of the market, man. Weekly RSI tells the story here. Very fucking strong as it maintains within the bullish control zone. Long term, I would be bullish on it. But if you're asking fundamentally, I do think that there is, it will kind of diminish the use case if and when Bitcoin does get its own security features, which I believe is on schedule. Again, not the best person to ask for that, so definitely confirm. I don't know, probably with like a Google search. Anyways, let's see. All right, what else we got, baby? AC says, hi Bloomy. Please look to Aussie dollar. Oh fuck yeah, man, we got some forex over here. Okay, well, yeah. Get my fucking forex ready. All right, sweet one. Let's go on to Oanda or OANDA. Down, baby, down, down, down we go. Fucking nice, man. So again, we've been looking at a macro reversal on Dixie. So this is essentially playing into that. I look at this as a macro lower high right here. Very, 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 very likely on a weekly to test back down towards about 73.5 cents. I would be looking for a bounce there, but ultimately very likely continuation on top of that. This thing's been downtrending ever since July 2011, so I have no real reason to believe that it's stopping that as of right now. We see nothing that is resembling that, so at the very least I'd be looking down here, very likely a bounce about 73.5, and then personally speaking I'd probably be looking for continuation on top of that. Bearish evidence all along these highs right here, yep, and even a head and shoulders actually as well, and the head and shoulder target I would imagine is probably somewhere around that 73.5 cent region. Let's double check on this one. It's going to be something like this, boom, and oh, what do you fucking know, right down to the 55 right there. Great confluence. 73.5 at the very least. I would be looking for a bounce there. Do I think that bounce gets sold into? Personally speaking, yes, but I want to see it again after that. You don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, of course. Yavi Pena says, as a swing trader with leverage, how should I deal with potential whale dumps 314 that disrupt our technical analysis? Well, okay, first off, okay, hold on. Let's go see exactly what you're talking about first. Okay, you're talking about March 14th. All right, so you're talking about where are we at? The 14th. So you're talking about this area right here. All right, so you're talking about, okay, let's redefine terms here for a second, because I really whenever someone says whale, I immediately think that this person's just completely uneducated and they've been reading too much like, you know, Alex Jones on the internet type shit with technical analysis or trading, just information in general. So basically the question is, what happens when you see a reversal? How about that? A reversal as a trend trader. Okay, that disrupts your technical analysis. This isn't disrupting your technical analysis. Look at this, man. The technical analysis, well, we have bearish evidence right on that high. That move plays out down to the 21 within the next 2 to 3 days. I'd say I would say that your technical analysis is questionable there. No offense, but you should be looking at that as a natural level. On top of that, what else do we see within that region? Remember the Fibonacci extension that we took all the way from the last major base from 30 to 40,000 bucks? Well, guess where that actually got the high? Right fucking here. So I'd say your interpretation of what happened is incorrect. Your identification of the tentacles in that situation was also incorrect, and now it's like passing off blame to some sort of whale who just dumped out of nowhere. No, there's several things kind of confluent right here. Momentum plus major fib targets coming out of like macro bases that was, you know, very much suggesting at the very least a pullback from this region. And in this case, yes, it did pull back. Absolutely, but the pullback within the context of the greater trend was still an uptrend. I mean, Bitcoin still puts in a higher low right here. So if you are a swing trader with, I don't know why you put with leverage there too. It's like a very interesting thing to say. It's like that. Never mind. I won't get on to that. How do you deal with stop loss hunting and that kind of manipulation? First off, not fucking manipulation. Shut up! No, what do you want? Oh, well, then copy and paste it to me, sir. Yeah, I'll check my Discord. Thank you, sir. All right, now that it's just us guys. So first off, okay. Okay, so completely wrong mentality to be thinking about there. How do you deal with stop loss hunting and that kind of manipulation? Your stop loss wasn't fucking hunted, man. Your trade plan is just, well, no offense, but I don't understand it. If you're playing the long-term trend, which it sounds like you are if you're a swing trader, that is what that would mean in common parlance, then you quite literally have an uptrend here the whole goddamn way through. So first off, not manipulation. Manipulation is a terrible, terrible word. It should be banned. It should be absolutely fucking banned from any trader's lexicon. Why do I say that? Because manipulation is a garbage term that is used to pass off responsibility from your own inability to accurately judge the markets to something else that is, you know, some sort of like big brother hand on top of your back. Again, I'm not trying to like demean you in any way, shape, or form as a person, but this as a mentality is garbage. It's very, very garbage, and I see a lot of people fall into this bullshit because it's seductive. It makes you feel like it's not your fault, and it makes you feel like you're not in control, which then and which then in turn makes you feel like, okay, well, if it's not my fault, then I shouldn't feel bad about losing money. Problem is, you still fucking lost money, assuming that, you know, you essentially just held all the way through here. Okay, so first off, manipulation. Look, we're all fucking market manipulators by definition. Anytime that you put in a goddamn order into the order book, you are manipulating the market to your desires. Because guess what? You are probably a bigger account than someone less than you, right? Which means that you are a whale in relationship to that person. Does that mean that you're a bad person for putting in your fucking orders? No, you're doing just what you're playing the same game, just on a smaller scale. That's all that I'm saying. You know, they're just better at playing that game than you. So it's not manipulation. Manipulation implies like something illegal. Manipulation implies something that like quite literally, you know, like insider trading, for example, that would be considered manipulation. You know, giving things, you know, like wrong marks as a market maker, that would be manipulation. It's also pretty fucking illegal, and the fines for that sort of thing is like pretty hefty. Obviously, in Bitcoin land, you don't have that sort of a thing. You don't have that sort of an issue because it's not regulated for the most part, unless you're traded on CME. But with all of that said, as I get way the fuck off right now, so first off, this is not stop loss hunting, sir. It's an uptrend. It's an uptrend. So I would push back on pretty much every portion of that comment. Because if you are swing trading, you got your fucking swing high, you got your swing low, it's still within the same vein of the trend. If this was like a stop loss hunt, how would that look? You look for this high to then drive down all the way to this prior low right here, give you a few wicks below this low, and then reverse back onto the upside. That would be a confirmed stop loss hunt. That's not what happened over here. That's not what happened at all. This was quite a simple quite a simple formation right here, if anything. So I would have to say, first off, again, the interpretation and then all subsequent actions after that are pretty much just not correct. So it's like where do I start with that? I don't know where to start with that because it's just the wrong. It's like how do you address a non-reality? You just don't address it at all. So I'd have to say it maybe a bit back to the drawing board in some cases like that, especially if you're a swing trader and this got you out in just a general uptrend. That's a really bad sign, actually. That's a really bad sign. Anyways, I'll go over here. Okay, apparently I missed something. Jono, hey, what's up, Jono? Jono says, greeting, Krown. Would be keen to get your thoughts on the macro pi cycle top indicator. We're in a toppy territory in my read. Yeah, a lot of people have been bringing this up right now, and I think this is absolutely hilarious to me. And again, I don't say this in an offensive way, but look, the signatures that I've been talking about on the pi cycle top indicator, which by the way is very much below that critical level, have always, except for one iteration, produced a pretty significant move after that level was met. The main thing with the pi cycle top indicator is that once you get below those thresholds, you're looking for that next major rally to turn into the next major top. At least historically speaking, that's what you'd be looking for. I'll give you a couple examples here. All right, so in this iteration over here, we become about like what, about 75% away from price action, somewhere down around here. Somewhere right around here at about 80% actually. And fuck, that actually wouldn't even be accurate to begin with. It's gonna be a little bit lower than that. Let's try right around here. Yeah, here's your 75%. And guess what? That's right around about 11 to 12,000 bucks. Or sorry, 12 to 13,000 bucks. Bitcoin, after meeting that threshold, then goes on to rally another 55%. I mean, to the all-time high. It's quite significant, right? We can go to the iteration before that, which was, oh shit, we're on the wrong chart here. We need to go to Bitstamp with more history. We can go to an iteration before that in 2014, obviously, which was way the fuck back on over here. This one actually did not operate in that. So this one would be the one iteration where that actually did not work out all that well. Let me actually just double check this one. I do want to make sure that I'm actually properly set on this one, but it'd be something like this. Let's see. Okay, we're about 80% right there. What about, okay, that's still not right though. Let's get it right here. I'm trying to get it as close as possible. Yeah, it would be right around here. And even then, that was a move from about 900 to a high of about 1100. So it's still actually, you know, an okay move, but about 22.25%. Then we can go to the iteration before that in about 2013 highs. which is, personally speaking, what I think we're kind of doing a lot more similar to what's going on right now in Bitcoin land. And this one was, once you got around to about 80%, you saw about more than about a 2x rally from that region. So that's about 90, and then all the way up to 250 high. I mean, that's actually 172%. Once you get to about 75%, then it was about 100% rally. So, again, it's not, I feel like people are looking at that as like a done deal, party's over exactly right now. No, that's not what it's been historically speaking. If you are playing that, you're looking at it improperly. What I'd be interpreting this as is that next major rally, next parabolic advance is probably going to be the last one for a significant amount of time. Problem is that parabolic advance can come within, can produce a move, historically speaking, more than 100%. So that's kind of fucking big, on the lower end, 20%, on the upper end, 100%, plus actually. All right, cool. Ken Doble says, hi, Krown, please chart SCUSD. Is this Scicoin? No. That's that symbol, SIA, yeah. All right, what is this? SCUSD. This is Scicoin. What the fuck? This thing's still around? People still do this? All right, fair enough. Let's check it out. Oh, whoops, wrong chart. Let's go over here. SCUSD on, I guess Binance maybe. On 3-day. Hey, happy early Easter to you as well, sir, from Australia. Fuck yeah, man. Okay, let's see. You said 3 days specifically. 3 days continuation here. And this one actually taking out the prior highs here too. Yeah, Scicoin was an absolute shitcoin from back in 2017, 2018 region. Looks like it's joining the rest of the party. Again, no greater example is needed than even Scicoin joining the all-time high party alongside everything else in this market, man. And I'd be looking for new highs on this one too. This one is, or at least I'd be having areas of interest short term up to about just over 3 cents, just about 1.5 cents. Long term, I'd say 3.5 cents actually. And I really have no real reason to believe that this rally is stopping, at least for the time being. I mean, this is clear uptrend, clear continuation. Looks fine. Looks fine to me right now. All right, cool. Hey, what's up? Oh, God damn it, where did Double R go? Double R! Where is he? Sir, you changed your name, man. What the hell? What's up, man? Double R, is XRP a pump and dump or a pump and dump and super pump? I mean, XRP has been known to pump pretty fucking hard in the past. Yes, it is a pump dump, super dump, if that makes sense. And I think it's actually getting ready for one of those super pumps. Honestly, it's probably going to be one of the last ones to join the all-time high party. But weekly is looking very good here. Weekly TSI having a bullish cross. Where the fuck is XRP Africa, Mr. Willy Poo? I know this guy is. I know that you're around here somewhere, sir. He's commented on this the other day. It's great. But yeah, looking at this right here, man, from an RSI perspective and TSI perspective, very, very good. Higher lows on the weekly as well. I'd be looking for this one to actually gun up towards $1 plus probably over time. Honestly, again, everything in this market is going to get a free ride alongside Bitcoin, continuing with the Bula-ishness. Andrew Mo says OXB Oxbull. Okay, is this a crypto or a real thing? We got Oxbull. Looks like this is not. Okay, looks like you are looking for a crypto here. Or maybe it's this. Yeah, it looks like it's not on TradingView. So unfortunately, man, I apologize, but I cannot look at it. At least TradingView does not host it. So it sounds like it's maybe one of those more obscure shitcoins that's in its infancy of life and not included currently on TradingView, unfortunately. So yeah, man, I can't look at that right now. Apologies on that one. Fishing with Johnny says IOTA USD weekly chart joining the market to 2017 high. Probably, just without looking at it, I'd imagine so. Let's go check it out, though. This one was very popular in 2018, I believe. Binance, we can go to. And did you give a time frame? Yeah, weekly. Daily looks like obvious continuation right here. Hidden bullish divergence off the low. TSI turning up. I'd be looking for continuation out of this space, wherever the fuck it is. Is this one going to join the all-time high party? Probably at a later date. This one's certainly relatively weak comparison to the other ones who are already making new all-time highs, but I'd have a significant area of interest right around 240-ish region. That's going to be the next major target on this one. And yes, I do think that it continues from here. It's generally fine. Hey, what's up, Dan Henderson? Dan Henderson says, "Dear Allfather, sir, you're scaring me. Can you please do the TA to end this on the daily, weekly in an Irish accent?" Oh, we have an Envis here. Yes, have you seen the Envis at Microvision Washington on NASDAQ? Oh, let's see what this one is doing the early morning. Let's see a weekly here. Oh, this one is looking like absolute dog shit long term, mate. However, Does it join short term? Yeah, it probably does. I can't do an Irish accent for too long, but yeah, higher lows right here, clearly getting ready to run back up towards 23.5, 23.25 region. Long term, do I think that it could turn the corner? I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd call it like a long-term reversal here, but I do think that long-term, I would have a major area of interest. Actually, that's actually rather profound, right around the 4 spot. What was it? Four spot 7 right there, 46.5 region. I'd have an area of interest right there, and then an area of interest right here, more short term. Let's see what that lines up with. That's 29.5. That seems to also line up with one of our major fibs as well. Hey, that's strange. Yeah, right around there, the 2 spot 414 at about 29 and a third. Also kind of in line with this measure move as well, a little bit further south of that, but overall, yeah, very likely does have a little bit more to the upside. However, I'd be very, 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 very critical of this one, somewhere around this region right here, assuming that it even gets there to begin with. But I imagine it probably had a pretty damn good monthly closure. Let's confirm that. Yeah, and guess what? The 200 exponential average is right fucking there at one of those lower targets. So, I do think it gets another try to the upside here. All right, nice one. I see you, Mr. Nimbo. Spoofy's real. Holy shit, Derek remembers Spoofy. Holy motherfucking moly. Spoofy, holy shit. Okay, cool. Shibley says, 12-hour link BTC. You see that R-side divergence, bro? You see that R-side divergence, bro? This one, which side is the divergent to? Don't know yet. Hold on. Let me check it out, bro. All right, bro. We got link BTC. We got some... What time frame again? 12-hour divergence. Is this true? Do we have some 12-hour divergence? We did on the low actually, 1, 2, 3 drives. But that target's already been met. That got you moved from like what 45,000 satoshis all the way up to 51,300ish region. Potential hidden bearish divergence forming on the other side, however. Problem is you don't have a local high confirmed. So I would actually get phenomenally bearish on this one once again if you see any sort of a closure on a 12-hour below 49,000 satoshis. Even a 4-hour probably does it for me too. Yeah, it would do it for me, and I'd look for another run at these lows at 46,000 bucks and probably continuation of new lows on this run, somewhere down around like 35,000 satoshis if that were to be met. Here's the thing though, it does actually have a chance here to reverse the trend, and you actually do have regular bullish divergence on the daily, which that easy move's already played out too. But if you do see any sort of a closure on a daily above 52,500, I'd look for a more medium-term reversal, start to target moves back up towards 60,000 plus satoshis. So this one's like kind of in limbo right here. It is very strange to see that the general altcoin market is actually having a decent time versus Bitcoin throughout this whole run, but Link not really benefiting from that, which is very much different than what I would have expected, as Link is usually one of the better ones. So I'd have kind of conditions on both sides, but I do favor the short-term upside here, to be honest with you, just based off the daily. Jewel showing girth, is it? No, not really, not yet at least. It is going to be lining up for a buy signal, but you're really looking for, like, this is a perfect buy signal right here. This is January 2021. I don't know what this is going to populate, but that's actually your low from about 37 and a half all the way up to 77. Not bad on that one. So is it going to be lining up? Yeah, it will line up, but it can go much deeper than it is right now, and it can take a lot more time. So, and I don't think it's happening right now, to be honest with you. Robin Morris says, UI and we got a real stock, baby. This one's a real boy. With the next strong support be 170. There's no strong support when you got dump dildos like that. Would it be 170? No. On a daily, I'd be looking, naturally speaking, the 200 simple and 200 exponential moves are almost always going to produce some pretty nice bounces on a daily plus. And that's at about 250 and 236 respectively. So I'd be looking for bigger bounces right around there. Now the Jewel did fire off not the most obvious sell signal right there, but that would count for the more aggressive people. In this case though, I would be looking for this one to head a little bit further south and probably try a bounce somewhere around like 250 first. I would not say 170 unless you're, I don't know. You're looking at the weekly specifically. I mean, the weekly is actually on the 21 right now. Again, similar sort of notion there. It's almost, I wouldn't say almost all. Well, yeah, I could say almost always going to bounce it, especially on a higher term time frame like this. Yeah, you do have bearish divergence coming off these last few highs, but I'd first look for a bounce off this level, probably back up to like 320-ish region, and then continuation down to the daily levels. Long term though, very good chart, very fucking good chart. So I would not like to call a move down to 150. Like that's That's not trading. That's gambling in that case. That's like some Miss Cleo bullshit right there. To call a move that fucking large from where we're at right now, that's a 50% drop, especially in a very long-term healthy uptrend, very constructive long-term uptrend. No, I don't think that that's appropriate at all. I do think a short-term bounce and then medium-term continuation of the downside probably tries for another greater low at around 250-ish region, if I had to guess. You said network infrastructure company got hacked. Recent media accusations seem that propaganda that could be disproved. Don't know anything about that, but I stick with what I said right there. You don't even really see like a humongous change in behavior as far as volume goes here either. Even on a daily, I mean, like if this was going to be a true reversal, you'd expect like something much nastier. Oh, there he is, the Dominican himself, Demelo Capitan de la Cueva. I know Jose Cuervo. The Dominicans are back, sir. We are knee deep in the Ren USD with daily CB Pro. All right, let's check it out. Ren USD, Coinbase specifically. Okay. And you said daily. All right, we are already on the daily. And okay, so something actually quite interesting is happening right here. Yeah, you do have a little bit of hidden bearish divergence. I'd say that has, yeah, that's mostly played out. And there's a pretty easy trade here, to be honest with you. As long as you're above yesterday's low, I actually don't think that is supposed to be bearish on this thing at all. Now, if you do take out yesterday's low, which is about 97.25, I would be looking for another run back down to about 89.25 here. However, I would ultimately be looking for that, at first pass as a bit of a bounce. For right now, however, I don't necessarily share that same opinion. Let's go down to a 4-hour just to make sure. Okay, maybe I do share that opinion. All right, on second thought, maybe I do share that opinion. I'd really like to see a 4-hour delta closure, preferably an open and closure above the 200 exponential moving average right here at about 104.5. If that were to happen, I'd be looking for a sustained reversal here on the daily. Probably heads back up to like 1.25, 1.5, or 1.5 over time, really. Again, general market structure does trump all in my experience here, and this one probably no different. So I would favor the upside just by being involved in the crypto market right now. But if you do take out yesterday's low, I would look for a deeper retracement in that, and that very much would be tradable. I mean, that is quite literally from signal given down to next low, about almost 10% move, although I would be looking for a bounce off there. For now, though, you do have a few potentially good things in the making here, like see the TSI get above the zero read. So for right now, it is a little bit of a laggard to be exact, but I do think that if the rest of the market continues up here, I don't think that this thing's going to fall down, to be honest with you. It's very likely to follow here, and I'd be using this as a bit of a bias buster for the short term to the upside, or just basically yesterday's low as a continuation point. As long as that is held, I don't really have any real reason to be bearish on it, like for any sustained move, for example. All right, let me see. Okay, I think I missed a few more over here. Whoa, god damn. All right, there we go. Okay, found it. Serperator, there he is, Mr. Serperator. Where the fuck did Spliffinator go, by the way? There used to be this guy who'd come into the live streams all the fucking time. He'd only say one word as soon as he comes in, or he'd say 3 words. He'd say, I am Spliffinator. It's like, nice. All right, good to meet you, sir. Serperator says, however, joined late. All good, man. Mara 4-hour daily, if not covered already. It has not been covered already, actually. All right, Mara, you're talking about this one, Digital Holdings. I'm guessing some sort of I think they play I think they deal with Bitcoin or some sort of digital assets. 4-hour looks good, whatever the hell this thing is. I imagine daily's probably fine as well. Yeah, daily's looking good as well. Daily's very obviously continuation. I'd even look at this as a breakout right now, in fact. Well, I suppose it's not trading right now, but you do see a very obvious ascending triangle, so reaccumulation formation at a high level. Technically speaking, we can judge some targets on this one long term. Oh, wow. This is, okay. This is, this is very nice. Okay, so this is actually quite interesting right here. This is actually quite a big level right here. So this is actually having a very, very bullish consolidation at a very important level. That's about 48. So it's literally there right now. Any sort of a closure above there on a daily, I'd look for this one to actually, look for this one to rip a bit to like 8. Jesus Christ, am I about to say this? Like 80-ish, 85 long term. You're not talking about long term, it sounds like, because you're 4-hour daily. But yeah, man, I'm generally going to be bullish on this thing. Short term, does it reject this resistance, come back down and kind of play within this uptrend a little bit more? Possibly yes. Long term though, this is actually looking like you might see this would be a macro move here. This is actually quite interesting. Yeah, man. Pretty big pivot right here. Above there, I'd just generally be bullish, like very, very bullish long term. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs within that, general uptrend, but I'd be looking for probably 85, probably even 100 plus. Actually, looks good. If not covered already, your second choice GBTC. I think this is the one that you want to be looking at right now. Robert Carr says Pundy X. Oh Jesus Christ, Pundy Derp NPXS Pundy Derp. All right, versus what, sir? Versus the dollars or versus the bitcoins? I'm gonna get. Well, let's give it the time of the day and look at it versus dollar. Of course, it's gonna be good. Everything versus the dollar right now is fucking good. It's just all you have to do is have crypto in your goddamn name. General uptrend. What do you know? What do you fucking know? Do I think that this one has another drive to the upside here? I mean, this one barely even playing out that bearish divergence from like. What is this? 80. Oh, this isn't even a cent. It's like a penny shitcoin here. I mean, the problem with these things is that when they reverse fucking fast. Short term, I probably would be looking for a little bit of downside here. Probably does try to base once again off of like 73,500-ish region. Long term, I can't really be bearish on anything in this market as long as Bitcoin's kind of doing its thing here. So yeah, maybe a bit of short-term downside, but ultimately I think that this one continues onwards and upwards. Again, another reaccumulation formation at a high level. Just doing some bad mental math here. I'd probably say probably up to 1 cent almost on the next move, especially if it takes out yesterday high. It'd be looking pretty damn good there. So fair enough. Again, I always feel weird with those shitcoins though, because those ones can switch around real fucking fast and have some really brutal downside. That's why I really prefer not to be trading them myself, alongside just lack of liquidity and lack of legitimacy as well. But fair enough on that one. All right, AJ says GET any pair long term, hopefully better than OGN. Okay. All right, GET. I'm going to do a Bitcoin parent again, just because I'd like to see that. Again, versus US dollar, it's probably going to be, generally okay. We have the shittiest chart of the day award going to GET. Get your fucking red dildos ready, because you just got shish kebabbed, sir, all the way down to... This one actually could go. Well, the good thing is it only has about 96.08 to go. This is fucking terrible, man. Yeah, worst chart for sure of the day. No doubt about that, man. This thing doesn't even trade for like days on end. Look at this, man. Look at this. This thing does not trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Like a week. A week goes without trading, and then dump it some more. It's like there's not even real interest in this. Trades on hit BTC, so completely irrelevant. Again, with most cryptos. They don't necessarily die. They just go into like the dead heartbeat of death and become completely irrelevant. And this one is very certainly doing exactly that. Absolute dog shit of a chart. Absolute dog shit. I would never expect this thing to ever reverse. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. This thing used to be like above 100,000 Satoshis. Don't think that's happening ever again, to be honest with you. You should probably never say never, though. You always get slapped in the face by reality whenever you say never. But in this case, I mean, this is just so awful. There are people who bought up here, by the way. That sucks. Hopefully it's better than OGN. No, this actually would be much worse than OGN. Both of them pretty awful, but this one even worse than OGN, in fact. Any Finnish accent, says Philson. Oh, would you like to hear the Finnish accent? In Finland, we have water. In Finland, we like snow. In Finland, we like sun. In Finland, we say... Hey, what the fuck is this? Jesse Lejeau says, hi, Dad. Hello, Jesse. Hello, mate. SNX USD on Binance one day. Okay. SNX USD. Binance daily. Let's see. Yeah, looking to me like it's trying to put in a bit of a low there. I would be looking for a little bit of short-term upside, probably back up to like probably like what, 1960, 1950 to 1960-ish region. Again, anything versus US dollar is going to be mostly okay. However, weekly is not fucking good here. Weekly is not fucking good here, man. But short-term, do I think it has a little more of extension of this rally? Yeah, somewhere around like 19-ish region. Maybe 19 and a half. Does have a bit of a downtrend going on right here. Technically would be a descending triangle. Problem is, if Bitcoin pulls through here, would I be bearish on the dollar pairing? No, it's just not the right thing to be doing, historically speaking. But for what it's worth, you actually do see quite a few bearish things here. Again, for what it's worth, that is. This is a 4 hour after all, but something like this, kind of what you'd be looking at. That is ascending triangle. It's actually one of my favorite formations, to be honest with you. Ascending, descending, and symmetrical triangles seem to have some of the best hit rates, like even into the low 70% for Bitcoin cryptocurrencies specifically. And in this case, could it have another run at the top side of this? Yeah, very easily. Problem is, as long as it's operating on a lower high structure, I have a personal rule not to get bullish on shit like this, but that would also imply any sort of a closure above what is this, 1990. I'd be calling this a reversal. I'd be looking for another move towards the prior all-time high. Probably be looking for new all-time highs on top of that. And again, generally the market is bullish right now, so this thing probably follows through. But if I did have to call it exactly as it is, that's how I'd be looking at it right now. And it actually doesn't even work on a daily, by the way. The daily is not a descending triangle. The 4-hour is. And I always favor higher term timeframes over lower term timeframes, so I'm inclined to say that that's probably not even the right call to begin with. Very likely joins the rest of the market, but I do think that's worth saying just because that is technically the right thing to be doing. He didn't eat his Lucky Charms today. It's Jack Frost. Kelly Kellum says Ethereum. You want to look at Ethereum on CME? The problem with looking at Ethereum on CME, man, is there's not barely any history, man. We really would need to see this for like a couple of years here. But if I am going to look at it, we really can't even barely get a fucking 4-hour on this one. In NYC up late, my man, you're reading me my bedtime stories. Nighty night, sir. Can you hit Ethereum's? Can you hit Ethereum? Surprised, haven't hit it yet. Wait, what? Surprised you haven't hit it yet. Okay, gotcha. If with all due respect, I think it'd just be better to look at like a regular Ethereum chart. They're going to be more or less the same. The analysis on them will be more or less the same. It's just this is going to be more obvious here. Again, Ethereum, knocking on a breakout. I'd imagine if Bitcoin falls through here, Ethereum will as well. Right at that 1916 level. If I had to call it right now, do I think that it does break out from here? Yeah, I do actually. I do think that it will break out from here. You got a lot of good things going on right now. You got a bullish TSI cross right at the fucking zero read. This is classic. This is very, very good. Right at your upside resistance. In an uptrend, in also an ascending triangle as well, off of hidden bullish divergence, and this is going to have a target up to, I think, like 2,500 actually. Actually, I haven't even done the target here, but it should just be the 2 spot, and that's, yeah, 2,500 bucks. So a closure above, or even just a wick above this 13th of March high, which is 1943.5. I'd be looking for a general continuation to about 2,500 bucks. Areas of interest along the way at about 2,200 bucks right here, just below 2,200 bucks. An area of interest right there, but overall, it's very likely to join the rest of the market. I think Ethereum's ready here. Daily RSI very fucking healthy. I'd imagine the weekly is looking more or less the same as well. I mean, the weekly's fucking obvious right now, man. I'll just put it bluntly. The weekly looks good. I'll put it that way. Hambone Crypto says, morning. Hello, morning, sir. Could you check out B Pro BTC 4-hour KuCoin? Okay, B Pro, this one, great name. On KuDerp, B Pro. Again, an obvious pump and dump, but this one's getting ready for a bit of a pumper. I'm never going to be interested in a chart that looks like this, but is this one ready for another pumpity pump? Probably, yep. Daily looks like it wants some more. Daily looks like it wants to head back up to like 6,500 Satoshis. You're looking at a 4-hour specifically, however. Looked like enough of momentum to push all-time high in April. Yeah, it looks fine here, man. 4-hour RSI is very healthy right now. 4-hour TSI, same thing, just crossing around in the bullish control zone, or sorry, in the bullish buy zone. I'd be looking for this one to retest highs, and probably does make new highs. Again, long term though, it's a pump and dump, so I would be very careful with it, but good enough at least for now, at least for a little bit more continuation. All right, let's see. Shibley says Link BTC Jewel on the 12-hour, not 24, already played. Let's check it out. Link BTC right here. Elsa! What is she doing? 12-hour, has the Jewel already played? No. This is a really fucking good signal right here. No, I don't think it's played it. And you know what? That helps out my Link analysis from earlier. Yeah, Link's probably going to pull through here, man. I think Link puts in a low. You got even some regular bullish evidence on the low. 1, 2, 3. I'd be looking for upside. No, I do not think that is played out fully just yet. And if it does come back down on the light blue oscillator, if it comes back down and lines up for another perfect signal, that's going to be the fucking big one. But I think that this one right here could very well be it already. I mean, that's a pretty damn good signal, especially on extremely low HVP. I'd be looking for this one to test some upside. Yeah, very likely joins the rest of the market. Probably maybe even leads a little bit too, because Link actually has done that in the past. It's one of the more impressive ones in my opinion. Okay, cool. Hey, thanks for that, AJ. Perfect award. Appreciate that, man. But is that a ticker? I don't know. Ben says Filecoin versus USD 4-hour chart. All right, FI symbol FIL. Filecoin USD. Okay, 4-hour chart. All right, in Finlandish accent. Let me see if I can do it. I need. Elsa doesn't have a Finnish accent, which is like unfortunate because I can't like practice it. I have to like talk to these Finnish guys here. Like they're, oh no, I do not know what this is doing today. No, it's upside, man. It's fucking good here. Accent aside, new all-time highs very likely coming. Again, I think we looked at this one earlier. I would certainly not be surprised to see it head up to like 270-ish region over the next month or two. Yes, it is getting pretty frothy up there, but I'd generally be looking for continuation here. This one is quite frothy, though, I would say. Again, these shitcoins, they will reverse very, very fast. But for now, you have no local highs even remotely possible at this moment in time on a 4-hour, that is. So I generally favor continuation when this one's in kind of a blue sky breakout. It's very likely to just test its prior all-time high. Probably does sell off from there, reaccumulates, tries again higher later on, but for right now, I still favor the upside here. I don't really have any good ways of kind of getting it other than that, however, because this one's like kind of out in no man's land here. I'd go with the general market, if anything, and the general market is continuation right now. So again, generally speaking, versus US dollar, almost everything, if not just about everything, is going to be more or less fine. Jesus Christ, man. All right, Umet Inse says, hello, good sir. Hello, Mr. Umet. Could you look at hourly Derpa USD? Is this a real thing? If this is a real coin, that is so... God damn it, I've been trolled. Oh, bastard. You got me. You got the tater. You bastard, Mr. Inse. Nicely played, sir. Nicely played. All right. AJ says, meant GET protocol, not Thermos. Okay. Oh, it's not on TradingView. Okay, so it's not on TradingView. But Thermit chart did look bad. Okay, fair enough. Apologies on that, Mr. AJ. It looks like, it looks like we can't look at it, unfortunately, though. Elsa filling grenade with forks. Elsa, what are you planning over there? I'm a little bit scared what she's about to bring up. Dawn Gang for Life says, Mike, just hey man, just part of this community, man. All good, brother, all good. Can you look at Hive blockchain, Hive on tsx.v? Sure. This is some sort of a mining stock. Hive blockchain TSXV. It's an Ethereum Bitcoin miner. Okay, gotcha. Okay, it's looking good right here on the daily. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards $6 plus. Long term, this is in blue sky territory, man. This is reaccumulation on new highs. Very likely to not stop at $6. Probably likely to make new all-time highs on top of that. I'd imagine we'd have some sort of areas of interest coming out of this base right here. Short term would be 850. Long term would be, what is that, like $12? I can barely see it right there. 11 to $12, I think. All right, let me see. Okay, we're an hour and 35 minutes into this. I do need to wrap this up about now, actually. We'll get to Phil Birchfield just for the last one. Can you look at audio USD 4-hour and daily? All right, last of the last. Oh, damn it, Vanna. All right, we'll do Vanna as well. All right, so we'll do first audio USD. Okay, so it's 4 hours specifically. Okay, it is on. This must be new. Yeah, again, the whole market's kind of doing its thing right now, right? I don't think that this thing's going to be any different. Now, there is a bit of a continuation sell signal here on Jewel, but it's hard for me to be bearish on some while the rest of the market's kind of doing what it's doing. I'd be using 295, though, as a basing point. Yeah, 295. As long as it's closing 4-hour deltas above 295, I'd be generally bullish on it, looking for it to pop back up towards 360, 370-ish region. If it does break below, what was it, 295? Yeah, I'd be looking for a greater pullback, maybe back down to like 240-ish region. But again, in line with the rest of the market, probably does pop back up. We do see that 4-hour TSI is like right around the bullish bias region, which is where you would expect to see like some counter trend pressure in this case. So that would be, your local low. So I'd be looking at this, as a bit of a basing point right now and a bit of a nice pivot. April high for Bitcoin, says Vana DL. Is that like an opinion? I guess you're maybe joining here a little bit later, but yeah, I do think that Bitcoin does print new all-time highs in April. Probably does test, deeper $60,000 region. And I think right now would actually be a really good time to wrap this whole thing up. So I want to really focus on the higher term timeframes here. We won't focus on the low term timeframes, mostly because it's just too much right now. Okay, so let's go over here to the daily. Let's see, let's pop this up right now. Actually, let's start off with the monthly. We got the monthly right here. Okay, beautiful. All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Bitcoin on the monthly once again does close above the topside Toronto band for the 6th consecutive month in a row. Now working on number 7 for the month of April. Topside Toronto band is currently situated about 52,500-ish region, so that will be a natural base point for Bitcoin if Bitcoin does play a little bit of downside pressure here. However, with that said, we can have the exact same interpretation as we did last month, where if Bitcoin actually just continues onwards and upwards, naturally speaking, the topside Toronto band will be pulled up as well. So I do think that there is a little bit of short-term, medium-term threat to the downside, to put it bluntly, but I would ultimately be looking and favor further upside to new all-time highs in the month of April and probably even May as well, based off of the quarterly, which we'll look at soon enough. Monthly Stokes remain north side angled. Monthly ADX DMI still sees the DMI plus dominant with the ADX strengthening. Monthly MACD still sees histogram increasing momentum, and monthly accumulation distribution indicator, which has gotten pretty much all of the macro highs and all the macro lows perfectly in Bitcoin's history, is still retaining its positive slope, although it did lose a slight amount of its curvature from March to April. Still completely fine, still completely good until it actually starts to level out and of course get a negative slope. I do not look for any sort of macro reversals at all on Bitcoin. With that in mind, we can go over here to the quarterly as well, and the quarterly is looking like further continuation here too. Same thing on the accumulation distribution indicator, same thing on quarterly Stokes right here, getting into the bullish control zone for the first time since, by the way, January 2017. That was when Bitcoin was at about $1,000 over here before going all the way to $20,000 a little bit later in that year. On quarterly DMI ADX, same shit. I mean, just, it's really not too much history here, but ultimately looking good. And then guess what? The quarterly topside Toronto band is coming in around $45,000 now. So at the end of the day, I would be looking for essentially a major base for Bitcoin, anywhere around like $50,000 essentially. Perhaps for the next year or so. I actually wouldn't really expect Bitcoin to have any like major closures below there. Could it have some wicks below there? Yeah, certainly. But ultimately, I do look at this as like a major basin for price action as Bitcoin continues to trend to the upside, as long as that condition is met. Of course, we can go back down to the daily right here as well, of which we still see daily momentum still heading up, actually officially getting into the bullish control zone for the first time since early March, which was leading up for this last rally from about 50,000 to 62,000. Daily DMI ADX in its infancy signal right here as well, with the DMI plus still technically dominant, ADX also above the threshold too, and daily MACD also crossed into the upside, which is also accompanied by, on our CME chart, actually hidden bullish divergence on our daily MACD histogram. So some quite powerful stuff. Obviously, this is further enhanced, or I'd even say more importantly, led by our daily over here on regular charts, with the TSI actually crossing up a couple days ago, given that further bullish bias, and daily also playing out some hidden bullish divergence on the daily, 2-day, 3-day, and even 5-day confirmed as of last night. 5-day looks a little more obviously like continuation here long term, and if I did call things, yes, I do think that Bitcoin, generally speaking, just kind of floats to the upside. Could it have a backfill back down to about $55,500 or $55,000 base and really not do anything? Yes. And if we go down to the lower term timeframes, which I said I wouldn't do, but we'll do it really quickly here, we can just use yesterday's low as a continuation point, or yesterday's higher low as, they're both higher lows to be fair, but closing low on that higher low as a continuation point as well, reversal point as well for the short term timeframes, meaning either a 2-hour or 4-hour total closure below $58,000 or a wick lower than yesterday's low. And then yes, I would look for about another $3,000 down to about $55,000, and very likely a bounce there, playing off the backfill from the 5-day and the 3-day and the 2-day actually. With that in mind, do I think that that's more likely to happen, or do I think that Bitcoin's more likely to test some upside from here? Actually, I think Bitcoin's a little more likely to test some upside from here, mostly because we did identify this inverted head and shoulders over the last few days in this formation right here, which does have a measure move all the way up to $62,000. So if that is going to play, what you would expect is you'd expect no reversals on that time frame, in this case a 4-hour, before meeting that target. And in this case, that's your $58,000 level right there. So we can just move it up. Yesterday it was about $57,100, now about $58,000. And we can also look at yesterday's high as a continuation point as well. And I even go as far as saying that the underlying market dynamics are certainly more on the bullish side here too. Realized vol and implied vol are more or less flat, as Bitcoin is right around its per all-time high. And that is really fucking important. If we even just take out yesterday's high, which is $59,950, I would be looking for a continuation to $62,000. And then of course, when we go back on over here to our CME chart, we do have an ascending triangle, which technically still kind of a little bit questionable here, to be fair, but as long as we're above $58,000, especially on higher term time frame closures, that does have a measure move all the way up to about 3.618 Fibonacci extension, just below $70,000, with an area of interest along the way at about $63,000. Anyways, with all of that said, I think it's time for me to sign off. I want to wish you a happy and healthy start to your April's Fool's Day, which I fucking absolutely hate because you just can't trust shit on the internet. And with that said, take care. I salute you, and